In the headlines, APC presidential panel screening continues. Court grants 500 million naira bail to Rochas Okorocha. Abducted Methodist prelate or two others regain freedom. And on the foreign scene, all 22 bodies retrieved from Nepal plane crash. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. The ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, on Monday screened 12 of the 23 aspirants seeking its presidential ticket to compete with candidates of other political parties in 2023. They appeared before the screening committee at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel in Abuja. Those who faced the screening panel Monday included the national leader of the APC, former governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi, and Jigawa State Governor Badaru Abubakar.
In G-Lodge, I was involved in the Chinese market, But what we asked them to do then is to separate the market from citizens, because they don't issue the C of O to citizens, which is not right. Yes. And that is where any crack in the financial system that affects a whole change of today, again, I mentioned long-term money for long-term projects. Why are we not the ones selling gas that we are flaring in Ukraine?
So Europe.
I think against this with the president, I'm not obliged to really discuss this private discussion with the president. And a moment of all these things are.
Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress, APC, will continue the screening of its presidential aspirants today, ahead of the party's primary scheduled to take place between June 6th and 8th. A total of 11 presidential hopefuls are expected to appear before the APC Presidential Screening Committee, led by former Edo State Governor and former APC National Chairman John Oyegun. They include the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, the Senate President, Ahmad Lawan, Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti, former Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dimeji Bankwele, and oil magnate Tain Jack Rich. Former Governor of Imo State, Senator Rochas Okorocha, is also expected to appear before the panel after he was granted bail by a federal high court in Abuja in an alleged 2.9 billion naira fraud case being prosecuted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The APC panel had screened 12 presidential hopefuls in the course of the exercise expected to last 2 days at Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari is currently holding a meeting with the 22 governors of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, ahead of the much-anticipated presidential primary election, now scheduled to hold from Monday 6th to Wednesday 8th of June 2022. In attendance at the meeting with governors operating under the aegis of the Progressive Governors Forum is the national chairman of the party, Senator Abdullahi Adamu. Only the governor of Kaduna State is being represented by his deputy at the meeting, being held at the council chambers of the State House, Abuja. Daily Trust learned that the meeting was convened to discuss the forthcoming presidential primaries and the need to have a united position. The APC postponed its special convention for presidential primary from Sunday 29th to Monday 30th of May 2022 to Monday the 6th to Wednesday the 8th of June 2022 after the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, extended the deadline for the submission of lists of candidates by political parties. The president is expected to leave later for Madrid, Spain, for a 2-day state visit to the European nation. Prominent lieutenants of President Muhammadu Buhari have contested and lost recently concluded governorship and National Assembly primary elections conducted by the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) across the country. It may be an indication of the president's personal political beliefs which hinder him from manipulating the political process to favor his associates. Kende Amudu looks at the political actors who could not leverage on their relationship with the president to win at the primaries in the states.
There is some unrest in the Buhari political circle. Those that were seen to have filial relations with the president have found themselves falling far short of the mark at the recently concluded APC governorship and National Assembly primaries. Fatuhu Muhammad, his nephew, Turad Sani Shaban, his son-in-law, and Sani Shaban, former member of the House of Representatives, and the president's in-law all lost out at the primaries. Even some of his very visible aides did not fare better. Bashir Ahmad, personal assistant to the president on new media, Ahmad Rufai Zakari, special advisor to the president on infrastructure, and Ismail Buba Ahmed, Buhari's SSA on social investments, all crashed at the primaries. Close associates, all their children, were also caught up in the decimation. Farouk Adamu Aliu, a key ally of Buhari since the ANPP days, and Folajimi, son of Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed, also fell short when it mattered most. Observers say President Buhari does not manipulate the system and obviously did not put in a word for them. It might mean that the actors may not have had as much influence on the president as Nigerians were made to believe. But there is another school that hints that the failures of members of the president's political clan may be as a result of many Nigerians suffering from Buhari fatigue. It could mean that unlike 2015 and 2019, when many political players were swept into office because of the president's towering image, aligning with him this time around may be a political risk. The word on the streets is that Nigerians are now wiser. Kende Amudu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And now to matters of security, where the prelate of the Methodist Church of Nigeria, His Eminence Reverend Samuel Kanu, has regained freedom from his abductors. The prelate was released with two others seized with him 24 hours after their abduction. Reports say the Methodist prelate is in Owerri, the Imo State capital, with the Bishop of Owerri Diocese, who was kidnapped with him, and his chaplain. The abductors had demanded for 100 million naira ransom for their release, but it is unclear if the church paid ransom or not for them to regain freedom. Meanwhile, 7 police operatives in Zamfara State have arrested a suspect for culpable homicide and being in possession of human parts. Zamfara Police Command spokesman Muhammad Shehu said in the statement that the suspect was arrested by the joint police and military operatives on anti-banditry operations along Daurang-Zurmi axis. The statement further said preliminary investigations revealed that the suspect is among the members of the outlawed group Ensake, who have been terrorizing members of Daurang community through jungle justice, leading to reprisal attacks by terrorists against the innocent members of the public. The Abuja division of the Federal High Court has ordered former Imo State Governor and presidential aspirant of the All Progressives Congress (APC) Rochas Okorocha to remain in EFCC custody until he perfects the conditions attached to his bail. Justice Inyang Ekwo made the order after admitting the ex-governor to bail in the sum of 500 million naira and one shorty in like sum. Equally admitted to bail by Justice Inyang Ekwo is his co-accused, Anyim Inyerere, who was cited in a 17-count money laundering charge. The report.
The court ordered that Okorocha's shortee must have a property in Abuja not below 500 million naira and the original title documents of the property be deposited with the court registrar. In addition, the court ordered that Senator Okorocha's travel documents be deposited with the court registrar and barred him from overseas travel without the permission of the court.
We'll fulfill it. They are not normal bare conditions. We'll fulfill it. And my client is a notable serving senator. So the idea of running away is ruled out. He will fulfill the condition. He has never run away. Only that, like I said yesterday, he was never properly served. Before you can say he didn't come, you must have served, but he wasn't served. He has come, and you will see that he will come to take his trial. And the bail conditions are normal bail conditions will meet them.
In the case of Inyerere, the second defendant, the court ordered that he should continue on the administrative bail granted him by EFCC for exhibiting good conduct while on bail.
Exactly, the judge in his infinite wisdom has granted the second defendant bail on the administrative conditions given by the EFCC. If you look at it, you see that the court was of the view that the second defendant has never defaulted in the administrative bail granted to him, and throughout the proceedings of this case, he has never absented himself. Our client is a very responsible citizen of the federal Nigeria, and the court has affirmed that. So we believe that before the end of today, it's going to perfect that by EFCC transferring their file to the court, and they will be allowed to go.
According to the presiding judge, Justice Iyang Eko, though he held that bail is to the discretion of the court, he said that due to the conduct of the first defendant, which is Rochas Okorocha, he would not be granted a customary bail. And this acts with self-recognizance. Rochas Okorocha was a governor in Nigeria, and he's a serving senator. So right now, the court has ordered that he be remanded in EFCC custody until he's able to meet up his bail conditions to the later. The trial has been adjourned to the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th of November 2022. Martia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, traders at the timber shed of the popular Day Building Materials Market and its adjoining markets in the Abuja Municipal Area Council that were shut following crisis which erupted at the market on the 18th of May 2022 have resumed business activities. This follows the reopening of the market by the FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello on Friday, 27th of May 2022, some 9 days after the clash between motorcycle riders and traders, which left goods worth millions damaged and lives lost. Trust TV's Aisha Salio visited the market on a busy Monday and filed in this report.
This is the timber shade access of the popular Day International Market, a market that was ravaged by fire incident just a couple of days ago, where due to the clash between the Okada riders and the traders in this market. Although the FCTA shut down this market just so peace and sanity can be restored.
This market, once filled with warehouses with varieties of timber products, is gradually returning to how it used to be following the restoration of normalcy after the motorcycle riders and traders clash. Chibuzo Ekesi, chairman of the Timber Traders Association of the market, says although losses have been recorded, they are nevertheless thankful for the reopening of the market.
As so far, the estimates we have collected, some are still bringing, it's over 1 billion. As at the last we calculated, we've gotten about 1.5 billion, and some other people are still bringing their own this morning. The minister has opened the market, the people are happy, and they have resumed their normal businesses. And as you can see, the market is lively. The business is booming.
Duru Amadike, the chief security officer of the market and one of the victims of the clash, is gradually settling in. He has been forced to rebuild while recounting his losses.
Well, it's one of those things that can't tell man. I cannot ask God why. It has happened. By the grace of God, we will survive it. We have no cash at hand, but we are trying to manage the little we have at hand to know whether we can also appreciate again.
Officials at the market said they had put in safety measures to arrest possible incidents and other security breaches and called on the FCT minister to assist in that regard.
We need external assistance in the security. The government should help us provide more.
He urged all to be law-abiding for a peaceful and successful conduct of business moving forward.
Repairs and reconstruction are ongoing in the market, and businesses, according to some of the traders here, are gradually picking up, although the officials of the market are in talks with the authority to ensure that there is proper security and other measures implemented to avert a similar incident occurring in future time. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And tragedy struck residents of Okorocha by Masallachin Karmawi in Kano when a 4-year-old girl drowned inside a well. This is contained in a statement issued by the Public Relations Officer of Kano State Fire Service, Alhaji Saminu Abdullahi in Kano. He said the incident occurred on Monday, adding that the little girl who was brought out of the well unconscious was later confirmed dead. Abdullahi said the little girl's corpse has been handed over to the ward head of Okorocha, Samaila Yusuf, and said the incident was being investigated. You're watching Trust TV News Update. Still to come on the news. Physically challenged person takes shoemaking business to another level. This and more after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now we'll look at our top stories. APC presidential panel screening continues, and court grants 500 million naira bail to Rochas Okorocha. And moving on to other news now. Women and teenage girls in Jos, the Plateau State capital, have been sensitized on the need to adopt the best hygiene measure during their menstrual period. The sensitization was part of an event which took place at the Eunice Foundation School, Jos, with female parents and schoolgirls from different communities in the Jos city centre as participants. The report.
A representative of the organizers, Aishat Abdul Hamid, said the program was to draw the attention of the female parents to their responsibility of educating their female children the best way to manage their first-time menstrual experience.
Basically, this program is about enlightening the young girls and women around the block on how to maintain their menstrual activities.
Amina Ishaq Ibrahim, a facilitator at the event, lamented almost zero availability of menstrual education in northern Nigeria, especially among Hausa parents, and called for attitudinal change.
One of my biggest takeaway would be the fact that we're able to educate young girls on how to take care of themselves during period. I think in the northern society, this is one of the things that we do not discuss even within the home setting. So creating a safe space for young girls to actually discuss this within themselves and with other people who are more enlightened than them is quite amazing, honestly.
Some of the participants appreciated the foundation for the program, saying the lesson they have learned will help them better manage challenges that comes with their cycles.
Orientation about personal hygiene for menstruation, like how we are going to help ourselves for everything that's come over to us that we didn't know anything about it. We come to see how we can take care of ourselves when we are menstruation, and that is important for us.
Now, a physically challenged man in Yola, the Adamawa state capital, Ibrahim Idris, has taken to shoe and bags making in an effort to take himself off street begging. Ibrahim Idris is also optimistic that with necessary support from appropriate quarters, many in similar condition will quit street begging and engage in profitable ventures. Silas Loan from Yola has details.
He was a street beggar, but for more than 7 years, he has not been seen on the street, waiting for handouts from people. Instead, he has become the breadwinner of his family. Ibrahim Idris is now a shoemaker, a business that, according to him, transformed his life. Despite transforming his life, Ibrahim Idris was quick to point out some challenges affecting the business.
Sana'a ce da muka dogara da shi. Sana'a ce.
I learned this business 10 years ago, the shoemaking. In it alone, I feed my family and as well meet up their daily needs.
Na rike kaina na koya ma wasu mutane da dama aiki a ciki. So da yawa wasu mu a cikin al'umman mu ba sa son.
Most time, our people here are not patronizing our products, and this has remained our challenge.
Da baya sa takalmi a ce yayi takalmi da mai kafa zai sa. Ya aka yi san haka? To wannan challenges din da yawa mukan samu.
Idris insists that their product, if supported with modern machinery, can compete with others elsewhere. He further explained the process and various stages in the shoemaking before dispatching the product to the market.
You see, for example, like this shoe, we only buy sole which we call foreign sole. And after the production, we sell it at lower cost of 4,000 to 5,000 naira. But some customers prefer to buy it in show glass at the rate of 10,000 naira.
With the recent commitment of government at different levels to take beggars off the street, Ibrahim Idris believes if government trains persons living with disability on different skills, they will contribute positively to the economic life of their immediate families and the nation at large.
As the saying goes, youths are the leaders of tomorrow. Training this kind of business help you realize their potentials. Hence, I am reiterating my call on the government to channel her attention on skills acquisitions training, especially to the disabled youths and women.
The engagement of persons living with disability in various skills will be of high benefit to the community, especially in the areas of security and drug abuse. From Yola, Silas Lowen, Trust TV News.
And on the foreign scene, Nepali rescuers have recovered all bodies of the 22 people from a plane crash in the Himalayas. Authorities said on Tuesday as they began identifying the victims. Air traffic control lost contact with the Twin Otter plane shortly after it took off from Pokhara in western Nepal on Sunday morning. and headed for Jomsom, a popular trekking destination. The wreckage was found a day later strewn across the mountainside at around 14,500 feet. 10 of the bodies were brought by helicopter to the capital Kathmandu on Monday, with the remaining 12 still at the hard-to-reach crash site, with poor weather hampering the operation. About 60 people were involved in the search mission, including the army, police, mountain guides and locals, most of whom trekked uphill for miles to get there. The cause of the crash has yet to be confirmed, but Pokhara Airport spokesman Dev Raj Subedi said on Monday that the aircraft operated by Nepali carrier Tara Air did not catch fire in the air. And lastly, in sports, Liverpool chairman Tom Werner has demanded an apology from French sports minister Amélie Oudéa-Castéra over the treatment of the club's fans at Saturday's Champions League final in Paris. Werner, part of the US-based Fenway Sports Group that owns Liverpool, said in a leaked letter sent to the minister on Monday that he was left in utter disbelief at her comments about the chaos. Oudéa-Castéra initially blamed Liverpool for helping to cause the mayhem, telling a French radio station that the club failed to properly organize its supporters who went to Paris. The French government has also claimed massive ticket fraud contributed to the chaotic scenes that marred the match with Real Madrid. The images have tarnished the reputation of the French capital, raising questions about its ability to host major sporting events as it gears up for the 2024 Olympics as well as the 2023 Rugby World Cup. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for joining us.